Hello. Today we're going to be having a career review session with an Android developer. We're going to dive into the career and see what are the opportunities available for both people already in the field and newbies who want to join the field. To speak with us today is the one and only Oladokun Segun. Sheiks, welcome to our channel.
Hi everyone, it's really a pleasure to be here today. My name is Oladokun Segun, and I've been a lot in the tech industry. I've practically touched a lot of aspects within the industry. I started my career as an Android developer in 2018 when I went to start innovation hub at Uyo to go and acquire this skill. I was there for about 8 months, and during my course of learning, I tried as much like take up a lot of projects, even competed in the then Startup South competition, which my team won. And I was still a student then, and the journey just continued like that. And I got excited, and along the way, I dropped Android development and I moved to backend development with Java, which I've been doing for a while. Then I went to the business part of technology, and after that, I had to come back to being an Android developer again. So it's really been a roller coaster journey. Just trying to do this, trying to do that, trying to figure out what really works for you, what you really enjoy doing along the line, and finally sticking with one. All right. So basically, that's it. That's it for me. Comes to technology, basically there are two sides, or I like to say there are two sides. We have the coding part, which is the coding tech part, and the non-coding tech part. So you can actually be in tech and you're not writing any code, right? You can be a designer, you can be a product manager, and so on, right? You are actively working in tech, or then you're not writing code. But at the same time, we have the coding parts, right? Which are basically developers, right? And when it comes to the development, we can then break that into uh, two aspects, which is the front end and the back end. So the backend guys are the ones who really write most of the major code. But things are changing right now, though. But that is basically what it's. They write code for things that you don't see. All right, they write code for things that really go on in the background of your application or your website. Uh, how to move data from the database to feedback to users and stuff like that. That is basically what the backend guys does, and you don't really see their impact because all you see is what the front end guys are doing. So front end guys are the ones who work on basically everything you see, the user interface, right? The user interface and the user experience. Take for example, you open a website and the website looks up. Basically, you are seeing the work of the front end guy. Or when I try to sign up on the website, then I'm making use of what the backend guys have done. Right, the backend guys they've created, some kind of database where my input is going to be stored, and anytime I need to log in back into the website, it's going to validate if um, that's really my credential, then grant me access to continue using the website. But you don't really see that. You just that I've signed up, I've done this, but yeah, you can't really visualize it. But that is what is going on in the backend. So yeah, that is basically the difference between the front end guys and the back end guys. Okay, so for the coding part, we have front end, like we said, we have back end, we have mobile development, we have DevOps, right? Yeah. We have those in the coding parts. Then the non-coding parts, we have product designers, who are basically UI UX designers. Basically, their job is to design what the front end guys are going to implement. So the job of the front end guys is to convert a design into a usable product by writing code, right? So we have product designers, we have product managers. Basically, the product managers sit between the front end guys, the back end guys, and the users, right? Trying to understand what is really what does the user want and how can we deliver it in time, right? So we have the product managers over there, and another one we have is the we have developers advocates. Basically, what it is that they advocate for developers, right? They try as much to spread the tech news, the tech gospel across to everyone. So yeah. I guess the major difference between working online and working working remotely and working at the office on site is just that things are changing in the society right now. Generations are moving, and that is the latest trend. Working from home does not necessarily mean you're doing less work. As a matter of fact, you tend to do more work when you work from home. All right, because what you have are deliverables. They give you deliverables, what you're supposed to deliver within a particular deadline, right? So when your mate are sleeping, you could probably be awake trying to figure out how to, deliver the task that you've been given and ensuring that you meet up with the deadline that was set to that. However, when you go to the office, oftentimes you don't really do much. Why? Because you have a lot of people around that you can just ask questions when you're stuck, or that can help you out when you're having challenges. But I think here in Nigeria, we would prefer to work remotely because of the hustle and bustle of the country. You trying to jump buses to go to work, you getting stuck in traffic and stuff like that. So you don't just want all of the stress, and also you just want to be in your own, be in control of your time, right? And do your work when you're supposed to do it, as long as you are meeting up with your deadlines. Okay, so in general, if you want to get started with tech, I would say just get started from anywhere, right? Because though the industry is saturated at the moment, and there are a lot of people diving into tech, but the truth is that no matter where you are within a tech space, you can still hold your ground. All right, be it you being a back-end developer, a front-end developer, a mobile developer, just try as much to be the best at it. That's just the thing. Try to be the best at it, because when I was starting out, I was basically jumping from one language to another. I jumped from PHP. Oh, they said it's PHP that people should learn now. I started learning PHP. And after a while, I got another mentor who told me that if you want to work outside the country, you don't have to learn PHP because they don't really use PHP outside the country. PHP is kind of more relevant in Nigeria here. So I moved from PHP, I jumped into Java. When I started working with Java, I realized that, Java developers are not that much in Nigeria, and they consider Java to be old. So you can't really get an entry role for a Java. You can, but it's quite difficult to get an entry role for Java in Nigeria, except you want to work abroad. So it was a lot. It was just so confusing, right? But then someone told me, he said, stick to one, right? Anyone that you feel is much more convenient for you, much more comfortable for you, and you feel you really want to pursue that path, just stick to it, because most of these languages you can actually do the same thing. The only thing is that some of them have been simplified, right? And some of them are generally more acceptable than others. Take for example, Python can be used to build web development, can be used to build mobile development, can be used to build blockchain development, can be used in data science and data analytics. All right, so the application is very, very wild, right? However, if you are a PHP developer, basically you're just going to be building for the web, right? But that doesn't mean that Python is a, let me not use the word, okay, with the lack of a better word, that doesn't mean that Python is a better language. All right, you can be a PHP developer and write better codes than, you know, a Python developer, right? The only limitation is that you might not be able to use PHP outside of building web applications. All right, so if you are a Java developer, you can use Java to write what's it called, mobile development. You can use it for web development. You can use it for desktop applications as well. However, Java is very, very tedious. It's very, very cumbersome and very, very hard to learn. So a lot of people are running away from Java, while some organizations that have stayed longer than the rest, like Oracle and the rest of them, they are still making use of Java because of its reliability. And also, my advice is stay where you feel more comfortable and you really enjoy whatever you're doing there. All right, be it backend, be it frontend, no matter the language that you pick, right? You will excel in it as long as you put your mind to it and you become the best at it. Like I said earlier, the industry is very much saturated at the moment, so you have to be the best if you really want to. If you want to get a very tangible job, you have to be the best. A lot of people are in tech, a lot of people are writing codes up and down. So what really differentiates you from them is your competence level and you know, your network, your contribution to the community as well, and some other things like your communication skill, which are things that you don't get to hear about when it comes to software developers. They don't tell you about these things. You need to be an effective communicator if you really want to be successful in tech, right? In fact, the non coding skills are as important as the coding skills when it comes to tech, right? You being able to communicate ideas, you being able to write documentations, you being able to express yourself and stuff like that are very, very important when it comes to technology, when it comes to working in tech, rather. So yeah, that's it. So I actually enjoyed the rest. I enjoyed myself being a backend developer as well. But what really caught my attention for developments is its advancements. Almost every month, there is something new in the Android ecosystem. In fact, in the mobile ecosystem generally, right? There's something new coming to the table. Everything is kind of changing, and we are now in a world where a lot of things are very, very uncertain with the emergence of artificial intelligence, right? Most of the code you can write for your front end, AI can write them. Some of the code you can write as a backend developer, AI can write them as well. So for me, those were kind of things that influenced my decision that, oh, in the next 5-10 years, what would the job of a front end or a back end developer be? Right? And I made some calculations in my head, and I feel, oh, mobile development is still going to be a very, very long time. All right, and I really like the fact that when I develop an application, I can see what I'm doing. I can visualize it, and I mean, you could probably be using one of the apps that I've developed, right? So you could be standing next to me, and I'll just be like, "Oh, that's my application." Yeah. So those kind of things give me joy. They make me happy. And particularly, a lot of persons have told me, "Why not do cross-platform? You could learn Flutter or React Native so that you can be building for both iOS and Android at the same time and stuff." Well, I don't know. Probably in the future I'll do cross-platform, but I'm sticking with Android for now because yes, Android is kind of the most advanced, if you ask me, in terms of implementation. It's also the most used operating system on any mobile, in the mobile phone ecosystem. Is the most. I mean, about 70% of the total phone being used in the world is powered by Android. Yeah. Then Android tends to do a lot of crazy stuff. Right now, we are not having foldable phones. We are not having flips, right? Which is, it's not entirely a different technology, but the implementations are different. Okay, the way you interact with this app are different, and it just makes it very, very exciting. right? You can, as an Android developer, you can build for smartwatches. You can the POS machine you use is actually powered by Android. So people write Android code for your POS machine to work. Right? So you can build for autos, right? Your vehicle, when you interact with your stereo, your dashboard, the map using your vehicle, all those things are Android. So it just makes it very, very sweet. And probably in the future, I'll start developing for robot as well because they are powered by Android too. So it's just a lot that makes it very, very sweet and very, very interesting. So that's it for me. Right. I would say all thanks to Google because Google owns Android, right? Google owns Android, and when they developed Android, they made it open source, right? What do I mean by open source? Meaning that Samsung can come, Xiaomi can come, Techno can come, Motorola can come, and they can, get the license to use Android on their hardware, which is their phone. So most of these phone companies that you're seeing, what they are doing is that they are building hardwares, right? And they are buying the software, the license to use Android. Unlike iPhone, right? They build their hardware themselves, they build their OS themselves, and it's closed source. That means they don't sell it to anybody, right? It's only for them. So I'll say all thanks to Google, they came in at the right time where people are really excited about mobile phones, right? Even before them Symbians and Java phones, what we just have is just a phone that you can use to dial, right? Make phone calls, and nothing really, really exciting. Symbian and Java phone came with multimedia, which makes them exciting, right? So they came with multimedia, the fact that you can now play music on those phones and play some games on the phone. But when Android came with a lot of widgets, right? You navigating through maps, right? You having a larger screen without any keyboard at all. A lot of Symbian phone comes with keyboard, right? But then you don't have any keyboard. Just from your screen, your keyboard is going to pop up and you type. So the innovation was timely at that particular point in time, and it's knocks everyone out of the market. So I believe what Google did was that they looked at what had already been working and they try as much to make it better. Because when Android came out, you develop apps for Android using Java, and remember that we had Java powered phones already. All right. So they just have to improve on that technology, right? Even till date, you still write Android applications with Java, just that they now have a new language that was developed out of Java called Kotlin, which is a simplified version of Java that is now the official language for writing Android applications. But Java still works very, very fine when you write Android applications. So that's it. I basically feel it's a lot of things. The timing was perfect. The improvements was what people were expecting, what people wanted at that particular point in time, right? The market has gotten to the point whereby they want to navigate their phone using their maps. The fact that we already saw these things happening on iOS 10, right? iOS had already been using this stuff, and they found a way to lure people into making use of it as well, in the sense that you can now enlist your application on Play Store and you get paid, right? So people saw an opportunity for them to earn, right, while making use of this operating system, and that did it for them. There are quite a lot of challenges. I'll talk from a mobile developer aspect. Like I said earlier, as mobile development, everything in mobile development changes almost every week, right? And that is, as exciting as that can be, it can also pose a challenge. What works for you today does not work again tomorrow. It's already depreciated, right? So you are writing a code. You wrote this same code for something maybe 2 or 3 months ago, but then you want to do the implementation now, and it's no longer working. So you have to go and look for new ways that they brought out for you to do those things, right? And honestly, writing code is very, very simple. writing code is very, very simple. Writing code, like learning a language, is like learning the alphabet of maybe English or any other language out there. Once you learn the alphabet, you can basically just piece things together, right, and form your words from them. That is basically how programming languages are. So anybody can actually learn how to write language. Learn how to write a language, but it becomes difficult when you are now trying to solve a solution with it, right? When you're trying to solve a solution with it, oftentimes when I have a project, I spend like let's say 20% of my time writing the code for that particular project, and I spend another like 60% trying to debug my code, right? That means what I wrote initially is not working the way I wrote it to work, right? Something is wrong somewhere at every time. So you spend more time trying to figure out what the problem is than even writing the code. Most times you are awake all night, you've not even touched your keyboard to write any code. You are just researching, right? You're just researching, finding solutions on how to probably do an implementation or how to make something work. And these new technologies are just so amazing that as a developer, you're a learner every time, right? We have what they call NFC right now, right? Which I've forgotten the full meaning right now. But what it does is that it helps you to transfer data or file without you getting too close to the other device, right? So if I want to make use of my ATM to withdraw, I don't necessarily have to slot in my card into the ATM. I can just tap on the ATM and the debit will happen. All right, I don't have to contact it. It's contactless. I don't have to like contact it. If I want to transfer file from one phone to another, they don't have to be in close proximity, right, before I can share. All right, so these are new technologies that are coming to life, right? And for you to understand them, sometimes you have to go and learn physics. Sometimes you have to go and learn a lot of mathematics on how these things actually work for you to be able to implement them. All right, and the business side of things are also there. No matter what you're building, if you're not building for the user, if people can't make use of it, no matter how awesome it is, it's just nonsense. And that's why they say some technology arrives early, right? It might be a very, very good technology, but when it arrives early, then people won't be able to make use of it because it doesn't make sense to them. The truth is that people want change, right? They want changes to happen, but they don't want to be far away from what they are already used to, right? They don't want to be far away from what is already working for them.
Yeah, they want to come and be
exactly. So as a developer, those are the kind of challenges you face. Another challenge we face is that sometimes the designers, they come up with really awesome designs, great designs, but as a developer, you can't implement what they design, right? Because what they designs are just too advanced, and there's probably no how you want to corner your way out of it. All right, so it's always a challenge, and you always see software developers having issues with the mobile. The designers, the product designers, almost every time. Because guy, why will you do this thing this way? It's too complex. Why not make it this simple? Why not make it this? Why not make it that? Why the product designer is saying, oh, this artistic is very, very good. People can easily relate with this very, very well. So it's a lot of challenge. Another challenge right now is jobs, right? The jobs are becoming how would I put it? There are no much job right now within the environment. Within the ecosystem, because before they can hire a back-end developer separately, hire a front-end developer separately. But now we now have full-stack developers who basically do the job of both the front-end and the back-end developers, right? So at that point, you realize that in organizations, you now have fewer developers working within an organization. However, there are a lot of people outside without jobs, right? Because the job of a person cannot handle them. And with the help of artificial intelligence, it even makes their job even much more easier, so to say. So it's a lot, and you tend to battle mental health issues oftentimes, because writing code can easily make you feel frustrated, right? It can easily make you feel frustrated because you're excited about what you're doing, but it's not just working out, and you have to keep your mental check in place at all time. So that's it. Yeah, I think things are really becoming better thanks to the help of HR in organizations, right? They are now setting limits to how long you can work in a week, right? They are now probably properly giving you you know, the tax that you can handle, so to say, the tax that you can handle, so to say, at a time, and also um, uh, okay, let me just talk from my own perspective. So the way I navigate is that I have schedule for myself. I work from home as if I'm working from the office. I have my work hour and non-working hour. All right, that's basically the way I do it. I have my working hour and non-working hour. Nothing can distract uh, me from not working when I'm supposed to be working. All right, even though sometimes I get to eat out of my non-working hour. But then I have a balance of the two. I try as much to find joy. Uh, I find fun in doing other stuff. I play snooker. I play football every Thursday. I I play video games. I go out to different places to just know what is happening there. I go for house parties. I go out to test different foods. I travel and stuff like that. Right. So I try as much to do things that make me happy and stay around people that make me happy. If I stay in the house for let's say a week straight, by next week I'm not staying in the house. I'll probably go to a friend's place who is probably a developer as well. But then there's someone for me to interact with while we're still working and all. So you just have to find a balance basically. But HR are making it much more easier for people nowadays to find a balance. Um, and as you grow within the industry, as your expertise begins to become more professional, as you become more professional, it becomes easier for you, right? It becomes easier for you, so to say. So because you will have worked on a couple of similar projects in the past, and you are just copying from your previous code and putting to this one, making the necessary changes for it to work out. So okay. First of all, let me say this. I'm still going to go back to the business of technology. I love doing
Okay.
business a lot. I love doing business a lot because I think because it's also challenging though. I love challenges. It's also challenging, and it's it's much more profitable, so to say. It's much more profitable, so to say. So but then, as a developer, you can make money through a lot of ways. One of them is that you can freelance, right? What do I mean by freelance? That means that you can just be taking different contracts from different people and be working. And there are platforms that can help you that you can just list on, set up your profile, and get job from them, right? Um, like I'm trying to remember the names of some popular ones right now. Um,
Is it like the 5 hours?
yeah, the Fiverr,
The Upworks?
exactly, the Upworks, right? So you can
Okay.
enlist yourself on those platforms and get jobs from there. All right, so that's one. The second way is that you can build projects and sell the projects, right? So
Okay.
you can build a product, or you can look for a problem, solve those problems by developing a product, and look for a buyer, probably an organization that will need that solution and sell to them. Okay. In fact, a lot of people make millions by building products like that. Okay. Then another thing you can do is that you can get a job with an organization, right? And you are on salary. Okay. And another one is that just like the previous one I mentioned, you can build a product and you start making profits with that product. All right. You can set up
You now
an e-commerce
own the
store.
product instead of
Yes, you
selling.
own a product. So you are basically running both the business and the tech alongside. So you can build an e-commerce store and you start selling on the e-commerce. You can build an e-learning website and you start teaching on the website, right? So those are ways that you can make money. But ultimately, you find out that one thing is common in all of this thing, and that is solving problems. All right. Once you can identify a problem that you will be able to solve, and you have the right solution for that problem, then you won't have issues making it within the tech industry.